All right. Well, hey guys, thank you so much for joining me on today's webinar. I'd like to think of it more as a workshop all around your agency growth plan for 2018. It's a new year. There's a lot of new things that you could and should do to really kickstart the year. I'm excited to unpack that with you and really just share with you a proven model for accelerating the growth of your agency and putting a planning structure in place to really accomplish that. I see we've got a lot of people on live on today's session. I couldn't be more excited about that. I do want to make this live and interactive, so as I go through sections, I'm going to pause, I'm going to ask for your feedback, engage with me. I mean, it's one thing to be up here kind of trying to share. It's another thing when I'm asking questions and no one's responding. There's a big group. There's a lot of you guys here, so don't be shy, engage. What I also find is when you do engage, you get more out of it because you're actually forced to think about it and you're forced to work through it. So again, welcome. Thanks for joining me. Here's my promise for you on today's session. I'm going to share with you a plan that, if followed, will help you make 2018 the best year of your agency's existence and a structure for setting and accomplishing your goals well into the future. So that's a pretty powerful promise. If you stay with me to the end, and I know you've got other things going on, you're probably running an agency and you've got proposals to send out and customers to call back and issues going on, but I do want to give you an ethical bribe. I've got a lot of information to share, a lot of value, so I want you to stick with me throughout the entire presentation. And when you do, here's what I'll give you. I'm going to give you a resource we developed with the top tools you need to run a very successful agency. It's just a list of the tools we use for reporting, for link building, for citation development, for project management, for email marketing, all the tools we actually use. I've got it in a nice little PDF. If you stick with me to the end, I'm going to give that to you. An infographic we developed that kind of outlines our seven-figure agency model, as well as the checklist of things that you need to do in order to really accelerate the growth of your agency. So those are my ethical bribes. I'm going to give you guys that stuff in a downloadable link when you stick with me to the end of the presentation. And I do want to say, I need your attention, right? You've got so much going on. With Facebook and your cell phone and other tabs. If you're anything like me, I've got these 3 monitors up, and at any given time, I've got Gmail going over here, Facebook and Twitter over there. There's a lot going on, but if you don't focus on something, you don't get the true value out of it. So what I'm going to encourage you to do is just go ahead right now, turn off your cell phone, close Facebook, shut the other tabs that you have running, and give this your undivided attention. If you're either in your agency or you're growing an agency and you're serious about getting better results and building a truly successful internet marketing agency, the next 60 to 90 minutes could truly be a game changer for you. So I just want to encourage you, give this your undivided attention. I'm going to give you fantastic information. I'm going to share what's working for us, what's working for other agencies, help you truly build a plan. So let's give it the undivided attention it deserves. Shut everything out, and let's just be in the moment. I want to spend a couple minutes just kind of giving you guys a little bit of information about who I am and why I'm kind of entitled to share this type of training with you. First of all, I'm a self-taught internet marketing agency owner. I do have a degree in business development from FIU that, as you guys can probably imagine, served me very little. I have spent the last 16 years figuring out the internet marketing agency world. I grew my agency from zero to $3.5 million over the last 6 years. We've got a team of 30 full-time employees. We made the Inc. 5000 list for the last 2 years in a row. We've had a really successful run. And so what I'm sharing with you is based on my own real-world experience. And over the last 4 years or so, working with other agencies, showing them what's worked for us. And so that's why you can kind of take a little bit of stake in what I'm sharing. I always believe you want to learn from people that have actually done what you're trying to accomplish and are still doing it, right? Because it's one thing to say, oh, let me show you how to do this when you've never done it yourself, and or you either tried and failed or you've moved on and you're no longer really actively involved in the business. And I do want to tell you that I wasn't an instant success. I had my fair share of failures. I'll make this really short because I really want to get into the agency plan with you for 2018. But I will say, for those of you that might have had a couple false starts in this business, maybe you've been struggling and making cold calls and trying to get sales and wonder whether it's going to really work. I just want to encourage you by saying my first foray into the digital marketing world was right out of college. Excuse me, right out of high school. I started a web design and hosting company, borrowed $10,000 from my dad, which felt like a fortune to him. He was a missionary on a $25,000 a year income with 4 kids. He lent me the money. I made bad choice after bad choice. I built websites. I hosted them. I charged like $800 one-time fees. I ran myself ragged, working 40 to 60 hours a week, and just made no money. Literally spent 4 years during my college days trying to make money, made no money, failed, shut that business down in complete frustration. But then was able to get back into this business about 7 years ago as Click Incorporated, kind of a regular wholesale digital marketing agency, and struggled on that for a couple months. Decided to go down the path, which I'm going to be sharing with you, choosing a niche, positioning ourselves as an expert, and of course, from there on, it's all history. But I wanted to share that story just to kind of give you some encouragement if you are in that state where you're just trying to get to the next level. So, real quick, here's a picture of our team. We took this a couple days ago. Beginning of each year, we try and get a new team shot since there's new people getting at it all the time, and unfortunately, some people leave. We got 30 full-time employees at our office in Miami, Florida. It's a true bricks and mortar business. We didn't do the virtual thing. We don't work from home. We'd love to have done that. That model just didn't work for us. What a picture of our PPC management floor. One of the new things we rolled out over the last couple years is a bigger focus, not just on web and SEO, but also on paid search. We can drive more leads for our clients right out of the gates. So we developed this little landing area for our 7 full-time PPC managers. I thought that was a cool shot. And this is just a picture of me and my business partner, Dean, at the Inc. 5000 Gala the year before last. It was a major accomplishment for us. As we built this company, it was never really even aspirational for us to make the list of the 5,000 fastest growing companies in the United States. But we made it. We did have a lot of growth. And I think we were like 1,166 on the list the first time. And then last year, we were in like the 3,000 range. But what I'm sharing with you, again, is really based on the success that we've had. And more importantly, the success we've had working with other growing digital marketing agencies. And that's just a picture of me at our office in the center there with a group of people like you that are looking to build agencies, looking to grow, that we've been able to work with. And 2 of my favorites, Alan Hillsberg over on the left, has had tremendous success. I'll tell you a little bit more about his journey, and Jeff Fisher over on the right, them at our office spending time. So, what I've done over the last 3 years is taken what worked for me and shown other growing agencies how to do it, how our model works. And I've learned a lot about how to teach this information, how to help others grow. I truly have a passion for internet marketing, for business growth, and for helping others accomplish their goals. Because, like I said, I was a struggling entrepreneur. I failed. There were others that kind of showed me the way, that gave me the information that helped me get to where I'm at today. So I'm just trying to give back in that way and share with you. And if I can be part of your growth and success, I'd love to. So let's dive into it. Here's what we're going to cover on today's session. We're going to set clear goals for 2018. And really, I want to be able to have you walk away from this session with exactly where you're going to be at the end of the year, exactly how many clients you're going to have to sell to get there. And this might seem basic. It's like, everybody knows that. But I'm so shocked and surprised, even highly successful businesses sometimes haven't taken the time to get that clarity. And that clarity changes everything. And so that's why I'm making that a focal point of today's session. We're going to put a tracking mechanism in place to help you track your progress and accomplishment of your goals, broken down by month and quarter. So it's one thing to have a goal. It's a far another thing to have a process to say, okay, what do I have to be at the end of the month, at the end of the quarter, and actually track that and know ahead of schedule, behind schedule, something to celebrate or something to kind of say, hey, I need to work a little bit harder on. So that's what we're going to put in place. And then we're going to dive into the plan, because you can have a goal, you can have deadlines, but you don't have a plan on how to get there, it's never going to happen. So we're going to talk about how to bring in recurring high-ticket clients on a monthly basis, some ideas on why it's important to position yourself as the expert in a niche, and then some specific marketing initiatives to drive inbound sales and leads. So I did put together a worksheet to go along with this session. I sent it to you via email. If you haven't downloaded it already, I'm going to encourage you to do it. It's sevenfigureagency.com/workbook. That takes you to the page where you get the PDF. It's really important, right? It's one thing to sit through a session like this and kind of hear what I'm saying. It's a far another thing to actually write down, because this isn't an information-based training. This is surely a workshop. I want you to write down how many clients you're going to sell and how you're going to get there and make specific action items in play. Now, I know some of you maybe don't have a printer, and that wouldn't be a shock because who needs a printer these days? Worst case scenario, have a worksheet, a blank piece of paper where you can scratch the notes. So I'm going to give you just a couple seconds to download that worksheet, and we'll dive right into it. So again, that's sevenfigureagency.com/workbook, and that should be able to help you get to the download. I have a couple chats coming in, so I want to make sure I didn't miss anything. All right, so David's asking, are our clients all on monthly retainers? Yeah, and they should be. I'm going to talk more about that. Average 1,400 to 1,800. Okay, cool. Sweet. So we do want to keep it interactive. I'm glad you guys are chatting in the chat area. Let's keep that going. So let's dive into your 2018 internet marketing plan. And for me, it all starts with your goals. I talked about this a little bit. I am a big fan of Brian Tracy. He's got a great program called the Ultimate Goals Program. I've been through it a number of times over the years. And one of my favorite parts of that whole training is a quote that success is goals, all else is commentary. So when you think about, you're in a business, right? You're trying to get clients. You're trying to figure out how to fulfill for those clients. You're trying to figure out how to market to get leads. You're trying to learn the latest techniques on LinkedIn prospecting and Facebook advertising. And all of that is activity, right? If you haven't taken the time to get clear on where you're trying to go in your business, how many clients do you need? How much recurring revenue do you want? Then you're focused on commentary, right? You're just chasing the next shiny object. You're not really clear on what you're going to do. So the other thing is you want to make sure that you're setting the right kind of goals, because there's nothing more frustrating than spending a lot of time and energy doing something. Let's say you're going to climb a tree, right? And it's a 20-foot tree out in a sequoia out in the middle of the forest. And you say, okay, you set your ladder up on that tree and you do one step at a time. It takes you a bunch of time and energy to get to the top. And you get up there and you're kind of like, okay, I'm at the top of the tree. And you look down and the guy that sent you up says, hey, that's the wrong tree, right? The right tree is over here. And that's kind of what a lot of you guys are doing with your goals. If you're setting project goals, somebody put in the comments box, is that retainer business or is that project business? If you're setting goals on, I want to sell 6 projects or 6 mobile sites or whatever, you're setting goals. You're climbing the wrong tree. And so it's really important that you have the right business model fundamentals. And I say this because I was the guy that climbed the wrong tree. I would build websites for small businesses, auto shops, mechanics, hair salons, restaurants. And I would go in and I would charge them $800 to build a website, and I might sell 5 or 6 websites in a month, but it didn't amount to a hill of beans. And I would charge them $50 a month to host potentially, but it was like every month I had to go get new projects, and I had to continually hustle without even being able to pay myself or cover my expenses. So as I learned the business model I'm going to share with you right now, which is all about getting recurring revenue, that's when you start to get some momentum. That's when you get accelerated growth within your business. And so, first of all, recurring revenue truly is the only way to do this business. And I can't see a lot of examples where I'm wrong on this. So I'm going to encourage you to just focus your energy on where the momentum is. And that's on the monthly recurring revenue. So no one-off projects, no check payments. Please, no check payments. The other thing is, okay, I'm going to get retainer clients, but I'm going to have them mail me a check once a month. I've tried that. It never works. You get the check once, maybe twice, maybe 3 times. By that 4th month comes around or that 9th month comes around, And where's the check? Hey, Mr. Jones, where's the check? Oh, I mailed it. Oh, why don't you come by my office? We can get together and talk about it. I've never had an experience where check works. It's just a recipe for disaster. So credit cards, debit cards, e-check is okay, and no partial payment deposits. If you're in a business model that requires you to get a deposit, finish the work, get the remainder of your payment, wait for checks to come in, you're going to constantly be chasing your tail. There won't be any momentum in your business. So I'm just going to check in here on chat, see if anybody has any comments on this. Let's see. Any comments? Any of you guys have experienced this in your agencies, maybe selling project work, maybe dealing with the frustrations of tracking down checks? Go ahead and put it in the comments box, and I'll keep going because we do have a lot to cover. The other thing is you want to make sure that there's a large enough monthly recurring fee that it makes sense. And our business model started at $1,000 per month, and it went to $1,250 per month. That was kind of our sweet spot. Now we charge about $2,500 per month. We're at a higher threshold, but I don't really think it's going to be efficient for you to charge less than $750 per month. So make sure that your minimum monthly is $750. Really like to see it in more like the $1,500 range, because for every $750 client, you have to sell 2 to get 1 that's at $1,500. So you just have to sell a lot more clients. But it's not lost on me that not every vertical lends itself to a $1,500 or $3,000 a month program. So just kind of set yourself up where you're getting paid monthly recurring revenue, and that your monthly is in that $1,000 to $2,000 a month range. Find that's a sweet spot. When you're adding new clients every month at that price point, you really start to see some momentum, and you start to see some build, and you get to the place where, hey, I've got enough money coming in month over month that even if I didn't sell anybody new, I'd have enough revenue to cover my expenses, to pay myself enough money to pay my bills, and live a pretty decent lifestyle. And when we moved to this model, our entire life changed. And so that's what I'm going to encourage. Make sure that you got the business model fundamentals in place. So with that said, we can talk about our goals and really where we want to go. And this is where our worksheet's going to come into play. I really want you guys to think about this and put it in the chat if you could. How much monthly recurring revenue do you want? So if you could just project yourself to the end of December 2018, so we're at the end of the year, and everything went according to plan, right? As Brian Tracy says, if you could wave a magic wand and be there, how much recurring revenue would you have? And it's different for everybody. It's going to be different if you're just getting started or if you've already got $30,000 to $40,000 a month. But where would that number be? So think about that. And then you really have to break that down to what you're going to charge on a monthly basis, right? So are you going to charge $1,000? Are you going to charge $2,000? Are you going to charge $750? Because armed with those 2 data points, you can figure out how many clients you need to get there, right? So if you're going to charge, I've got an example. If you're going to get to $35,000 per month, which would be a great number, right? That's a pretty great monthly recurring number. And you charge $1,000 per month, that would mean you need 35 clients. So that's pretty simple math. And I'm not asking you to figure out, is it really feasible for me to sell 35 clients? Is it really feasible for me to sell $1,000 a month to each client? But just, in the perfect world, where would you be? And so put in the comments box for me where you're going to be. James, thanks for joining us, man. Awesome to have you here. It's a true honor. $260,000 per month. Awesome. That's awesome. Who else? Okay. CU bonus, $25,000 per month. Great target. That's great. David's going to get to $20,000 per month. Fantastic. And what I want you to do is actually put this on your worksheet. So or write it down in your document. So you're really clear. You're like, okay, this is how many clients I'm going to get. This is how much I need to bill in monthly recurring. Matt, what's up, man? Thanks for joining us. 120K. Would love to see you get there. That'll be your 7-figure year plus. So fantastic. Heather's going to get to 50. Todd's going to get to 30. Beautiful. And if you could, how many clients are going to take to get there? Because what I find is when there's a disconnect between that monthly number and the reality of how many clients that requires, it has an impact. So Jimmy needs 48 additional clients. Just out of curiosity, can you guys see the comments people are typing, or are you just seeing what you wrote? Somebody tell me that, because I'd love it if you guys could see it, but I don't know if I have it set up like that. Okay, good. So you guys are thinking, right? You're getting clear on where you want to go. Now what I want you to do is, we can see it. Okay, awesome. Good. So you guys are seeing each other. You're kind of seeing where you're at. You can see who the true players are. Jimmy and Matt, these guys are legit. I can tell you, I know them both. They're rock stars. And what they're writing there isn't like pie in the sky. It's going to happen for them, I'm sure. Awesome. Okay. So the next thing we want to do is we want to break this down quarterly and monthly. Because, all right, so you got to get an extra 30 clients in the year. Divide that by 12. How many new clients is that to get there? And what I've found in my experience is your mind really can only think in about a 90-day chunk, which is 3 months. I found it really effective to put together a quarterly sprint where you take your year, you set a big target, then you break it down by quarters. And so what I want you guys to do is take the number, divide it by 4, and that tells you how many clients you need to sell each quarter in order to accomplish your goal. Now, it starts to get a little bit complicated because some of you guys like Jimmy and Matt, you've got clients and there's going to be some churn, right? I wish that clients never left, right? But no matter how good you are, no matter how well you execute, there's going to be some churn. So you want to make sure that you're factoring into your planning some level of churn, maybe somewhere between 3 and 5% of your client base. And some of you might be doing way better than that. Maybe you've got newer client base. But as you start to get into the 50 to 100 clients, there's going to be a little bit of churn. So I did put together a document for you guys. If you downloaded the worksheet, it's called what I call is the sales and retention tracking sheet. This is something I custom developed for our agency. It's been a complete game changer, and you can download it. I'm actually going to give it to you guys for free. It's a Google Sheet. Just click that link, 7figureagency.com/tracking. Let's see if I can type it in here. All right, so you go there, you'll get this sheet, and it breaks your year out. And it will help you get clarity on how many sales you're going to get, if you have some potential churn, how many clients you think you might lose, and then where you'll end up at the end of the year. And what this does is it gives you a powerful mechanism to see your targets. The best, most successful sales organizations in the world, if you've ever been experienced working in B2B, I worked at companies like ADP and Data Impact and Lason, big sales organizations. Every single salesperson had a very specific target, and Reach Local as well. They had a very specific target. So when they started their month, they knew I have to have this many sales. It has to be this much recurring revenue. And if I don't, I'm probably going to get fired, right? If I don't, 1 month, I might get away with it, but the next month, I'll probably be fired. And what I find with most small agencies is either they didn't have that experience, so they didn't know to put this in place, or they don't put targets for themselves. And without a target, you're never going to accomplish your goal. It's almost like if you were going to go on a family trip and you just got in the car and you started driving, and you drove for a couple hours and you get wherever you're going to wind up, and a couple days into the trip, your wife looks over at you and says, "Hey, where are we? Where are we going? Are we there yet?" And you're like, "Well, I don't know. We're here." Well, you certainly didn't get to Disneyland, and you didn't get to your brother-in-law's home. You're in the middle of nowhere, and that's where you're at as an agency if you don't have clear targets and goals on a monthly, quarterly, and annual basis. And that's what a tool like this can do for you. So Scott wrote in the comments, "Those who fail to plan to fail." Absolutely right. And so I'm giving you this as a free tool. We don't have time to go in and update all the cells on today's session, but I want you to do it. And I promise you, if you invest the energy to set this up and to hold yourself accountable and maybe have a third party look at it with you, your probability of accomplishing those goals that you just set out are significantly greater. And I just want to share an example of this and get back into my presentation mode here. So Brian Kaskavalchian is the owner of G4 Marketing Group. They're here in Coral Gables. And Brian runs a really successful agency targeting the roofing and remodeling industry. And over the years, he built it to a pretty successful place. But he kind of lulled out at about $70,000 per month. They built it there. It was enough money for him to be satisfied. And a couple of years passed, and he was just at that same level, and he was struggling. And I guess it was around 2015, he and I got together. We put together this sales and retention tracking sheet for his business. And he started to put these kinds of targets in place, where he and his team knew, here's where we're going for the end of the year. Here's the amount of sales we have to get this month, next month, and this quarter in order to get there. And I can tell you, since then, his business has just accelerated. Because with clarity of goals and with clear targets, you start to get into action. You've got things that you need to get done, and you start to accomplish your goals. And so I met with Brian just last week, and as the end of 2017, his business did over $2 million in the agency space. And a big driver of it was having this type of clarity in place. So invest the time, invest the energy. It will have a huge impact on your long-term success. So with that in mind, you know where you want to go, but really a goal is a target. It's something that you're headed towards. Something different is a KPI. It's a key performance indicator. And there's a difference. I don't want to get too technical, but a goal is something that you either hit or you don't, right? And if you look back, you're like, okay, either we did it or we didn't. A KPI is something that you can see happening, and if you get your KPIs in order, it usually helps to accomplish your goal. So a good KPI for you guys in the agency world is how many strategy sessions do you need to conduct on a monthly basis to hit your target. You can call it a sales presentation, you can call it a strategy session, you can call it a client consult, but really what it is, it's you getting face-to-face or webinar to webinar with a prospect that wants your service and taking them through, here's what they've got going right, here's what they've got going wrong, and here's what you can do to help them with a clear offer at the end of the meeting. That's what I'm going to classify as strategy sessions. And you have to know how many strategy sessions you need in order to hit your goal. Because a goal, again, is just one of those nebulous things that you can't really control. How many strategy sessions and how many leads you generate, that's within your power. So to figure this out, really the three things you need to know are how many sales do you need in order to hit your target, which we've already figured out on a monthly basis. What's your average conversion rate from strategy session to sale? So if you meet with 10 people and they're qualified and you take them through this process, what percentage of them will convert? I'll tell you, when I was at Reach Local and I was a cold call sales rep, I literally had my list and I called every day and I drove out to their office and I made presentations. It was something like 10%. It's like the lowest close rate you can get is from a cold call lead. Now, when you start to put some of the inbound marketing strategies in place, maybe they saw you presenting, or they read your ebook, or they downloaded something of yours, or they sat on a webinar, that close rate will increase. I'm going to say a decent average for you guys, if you don't know this already, is probably somewhere in the 30 to 35% range. That should, assuming you're not only driving cold call sales, will give you a pretty decent idea. So armed with how many sales you need on a monthly basis, what your average close rate is, you can divide that sales target into your conversion rate. And I'll give you an example of this, which is, let's say you need 4 sales a month. Some of you guys, it's a lot more than that. Some of you, hey, you know what, you're happy with 2 or 3. That's fine. I'm going to use 4 as the example, and you need to convert at 30%. So you can take 4 sales, divide it by 0.3 or 30%. That gives you 13 strategy sessions per month. Again, assuming that you have a 30% close rate. If you were doing the same target and you were doing 10% close rate, because it's almost all cold call, you probably need something more like 40 strategy sessions. So this is your KPI. I want you to do the math. I want you to assume something like a 25 to 30% close ratio. Take your sales, divide it into that close ratio. That's how many strategy sessions you need at minimum. And you should do more than it, but at minimum to hit your targets. This will be a game changer for you. This is what you need up on your board. Up on wherever it is that you work every day, you need to have it big front center. How many sales am I going to make this month? How much recurring revenue does that need to be worth to me? And how many strategy sessions do I need to conduct? Not cold calls that they say, okay, but real legitimate, they're interested, you take them through a process. And I assure you, if you start to hit those KPIs on a monthly basis, you're going to hit your targets, you're going to have growth in your agency. So I want you to do the math on this. This is really that important. A couple of you guys go in here, post how many strategy sessions you need to do a month in order to hit your targets, and fill it out on your worksheet or write it down on your scratch pad. This is game-changing information for you to know about your own agency. Okay, so Jimmy's saying about 50 strategy sessions per month. Sales guys doing about 25 to 30% close ratio right now. Beautiful, that's great. Wonderful when you get to the place where you're generating enough leads and you can build a little sales team underneath you, and you've got an army of guys doing those strategy sessions and closing business. And that's where Jimmy's at. So congratulations, Jimmy. Good clarity on those numbers. Somebody else, come on. If you're not posting, you're not gonna be doing the math, right? And then what's the purpose of even being on this session today? Somebody else, at least one more volunteer. I'm not going to continue until one of you give me a number. Okay, thanks, Matt. You got me off the hook. You're my buddy. 15. Okay, so Matt needs 15 too. All right. So 15 strategy sessions per month gets them to their target, which means they're shooting for like 4 to 5 sales per month potentially. You have to know these numbers. The only people participating, and there's at least 40 or so of you on today's session, are the 2 guys that are killing it. The rest of you guys need to know these numbers. You got to get in with the program. So again, without clarity, you're just going to be like a chicken with its head cut off, right? Without clarity, without goals. And so that's why we spent the time on this right now. Get that clarity. Make sure you know how many strategy sessions you need per month. And I hope this was valuable. I hope this was useful. I can tell you this is the chassis for the success of my business. Clarity of goals, stopping on a monthly basis. Did I accomplish my goals? Did I not? Quarterly planning and annual planning. From day one, when it was just me and Dean sitting at our desks at home, getting together at the Einstein's Bagels, this is what we did, right? And you need to do the same. And the 2 guys that are responding, you can see them in chat, both run 7-figure agencies. So this stuff really works. So now it's really time to put together the plan, right? And somebody posted it, Scott posted it earlier. I had it on my video leading up to this webinar. If you fail to plan, then you're planning to fail. So now we've got some clarity, but that's not a plan, right? A plan is, how am I going to structure my business model? How am I going to get leads and opportunities? And how am I going to hit my KPI, which is the number of strategy sessions I need each month to push my business forward? So I'm going to start with niche, because it's just so fundamental. Your plan should involve you having a specific target that you go after and that your business is focused around. And it could be anything, right? It could be roofing companies. It could be AC companies. It could be plumbing companies like me. It could be healthcare organizations like Jimmy. It could be funeral homes like Alan. There's hundreds of niches. And what I found, even niches that I thought, that's a dumb niche. No one's ever going to grow in that niche, can be effective, because it really depends upon you. It depends upon your communication style. It depends upon kind of the influence and circle of influence that you have. But I will tell you this, everybody wants to work with the expert in their type of business, right? If you get an opportunity with a roofing company and you're talking to that roofer and you've never worked with another roofing company before, he's not going to be too impressed. He's not going to be too excited by that. But if you're the guy that has case studies in the roofing industry, can put them in contact with like 2 or 3 other roofing organizations, they're going to want to do business with you. Also, when you're in a niche, it's a lot easier to sell and close. As we started getting better and better in the plumbing space, instead of trying to convince somebody to do business with us, our social proof and our experience was just so great. It was just so easy. We didn't have to convince the people to buy from us. And this is a business growth planning session, but the biggest benefit of being in a niche is that it's so much easier to fulfill and systematize. Let's say you're amazing at sales. You get a little army of salespeople, and they're all out selling clients, but they're getting clients in different areas. The execution of that is so complicated, it will probably bring you to your knees and shut your business down, because every industry is a little bit different. They need different stuff on their website. They need different keywords. they have different strategies that work better. Facebook versus pay-per-click, some mobile is where it's at. And so when you're in a niche and your business is structured around it, you can get the client, you can plug them into a pre-built system that's going to work, and you can have an assembly line that cranks out really good work for your clients. And you can become really good at getting results, because as you do more and more in the same space, you become better. Your team becomes better. Your knowledge becomes expanded. And so this is not a session on why niche is important, but I wanted to spend a little bit of time talking about the power of niche and why it's really the fastest way to accelerate the growth in your industry. Now, Scott posted in here's having issues with the sound. I just want to make sure the rest of you having issues. Do I need to check my audio session? Okay, Jimmy's fine. Scott, no, it was just something with you. Okay, cool. All right. You had me scared there for Scott. I don't want you guys to have issues with the sound. So again, choosing a niche is going to be the quickest and most efficient way to grow and scale, most importantly, scale your agency. I just want to share a quick example of this. Good friend of mine, John Tate. He runs a company today called Agency Marketing Machines. But about, I don't know how long, 6 years ago, 7 years ago, he was a generalist agency. And he would sell to whoever he could get. He did a lot of mobile app development. He started to dabble in local, local stuff. And I was meeting with him on a monthly basis. And, we're talking about my business versus his business. And, our business is growing. We're adding new clients. We're scaling. And he's just kind of stuck with no momentum in his company. And years passed like this. And finally, we were able to convince him, look, get into a niche. Choose a niche. And he decided to do insurance agents. And again, not every niche that I think is going to be a win is always a win. I thought insurance, those guys don't spend money. They don't do a lot of advertising. I don't know about it, but he had some strategic relationships. He put together his positioning. I can tell you his business just skyrocketed from like 2015 to today. And I can tell you he's a 7-figure agency. Last number I got from him was 1.5 million. So this is the power of being in a niche. The potential to go from stagnation to accelerated growth. And Agency Marketing Machine, I just thought was a great example of that because I experienced it firsthand. I sat there in the frustration of just chasing little deals or chasing big deals that were one-time projects, getting clients all over the place with no scalability. So what I want you guys to do now is post in the comments box what your niche is. And I want somebody in addition to Matt, in addition to Jimmy, to chime in because we've got a bunch of you on here and I want to hear from you. All right, so Jimmy says we chose multiple specialties in the medical niche and we set up our websites at jimmymarketing.com, but we're removing all non-medical niches. Awesome. So even that probably is a little complicated, but you've got a big enough team, you've got a well enough developed structure that you can deal with all of the different types of medical niches. Did you see my question from above? Okay, let me see. Sorry. No sound problems. Can you copy and paste it again? Okay, there it is. So BM, which I don't have your name, says, here's the thing we struggle with. Why would a competitors in the same niche and local area each want to pay us to compete against each other? Really seems like a conflict of interest. Great point. So the beauty of going niche is that you no longer have to work just in your backyard, right? So we're based in Miami. That's where our office is. We literally have one client in Miami. 99% of our clients are scattered throughout the United States. We have a couple in Australia. We have a couple in Canada. And so when you're niche focused and you're really good at it, and you're going after people saying, look, we're the experts in this type of business. We understand your problems. We know how to get you ranked. We know how to get you results, and we can prove it. They will come to you. They don't care that you're not local. And it gives you that scalability. You're not driving all over town to meet with people one-on-one. So I hope that makes sense. Exclusivity is huge. That's right. Jimmy says exclusivity is huge. BM, let me know if that answers your question, because I would imagine you're right. Like if you're only selling companies in your backyard, your 30-mile radius, they're going to start to get frustrated. They're like, hey, you can't do him and him and him. You have to be serving a much wider radius. And exclusivity, telling them you're only going to work with one in each market, helps with that a lot. Okay, so Todd wrote, looking to work with chiropractors. Awesome, love that. It's a good niche. They're smart marketers. It's very competitive, but good niche. Let's see. How do you purport to be an expert in a niche if you don't have any clients yet, or defining a new niche? That's a good point. So, a couple things on that front. You're going to want to start. Let's say if you're just brand new, you don't have any clients yet, you're going to want to go out and get somebody in that niche. So for me, it was Town Plumbing in Fort Lauderdale. And I went to him and said, hey, I'm looking to get more experience within plumbing, and I'd like to start to build a business around this industry because I think you have unique struggles, I think you have unique challenges, and I've looked at your website, I've looked at your current rankings. I really feel like there's a clear play. I can set up a new website, I can put an aggressive SEO strategy in place, I can start to run some paid ads, and we can generate leads for you. Do you want to give it a shot? And it wasn't free. I charged him, I think, $1,000 a month. He gave me the check, and we got to work. From that one, all you need is one, and then you can go get that client good results, and they'll be like, okay, you did a good job, and they'll continue to pay. But then you can go to the next guy, and you are an expert at that point. Because you have experience, you implemented and you got a result. And then you probably created a case study. And then you create information like, here's what I did with his website. Here's how I got it ranked. Here's what you can do in your plumbing or HVAC business to generate more leads via paid search. And as the person creating good, unique content to a very specific niche, you become the expert. And I can tell you, I'm going to be talking about this more in a second. No one's going to anoint you expert, Heather. No one's ever going to say, okay, now you're an expert. You have to claim that for yourself. And you have the ability right now to go out, get a client in a niche, get them results, and develop your expert status. So I hope that answered the question. BM says it helps. Matt says, we're all medical practices, and it was much too much now, but we need to do med spas. But need to turn gradually. This is not the time to alienate previous customer base. Okay, cool. And Heather writes, it helped. So somebody put something in the queue box. Not trying to detract myself too much, but I just want to make sure I don't leave anybody behind. Okay, Heather, thank you. How do I get back to my chat now? Okay, let's keep going. So some of you guys put in your niches. I hope that you have a niche, and maybe this is a case where you're worried you don't want to put your niche out in front of everybody because somebody might latch onto it. That's a whole nother issue. There's just so much abundance in this world. There's so much abundance in every single niche that shouldn't be a concern for you. But hopefully this opens your eyes to, first of all, the reason you need to be in a niche, and second of all, the fact that it's really going to accelerate your growth when you get there. And I hope you all spend a little bit of time and commit to a niche, because it is a game-changing move for you and your agency. So the next thing you want to do is develop your expert positioning. So Heather, you kind of jumped the gun on me. That's kind of where I'm headed next. But people like to do business with the expert in their space. And there's a lot of things you can do to own expert status. So I'll just kind of share 9 key positioning assets that you can use that will position you. And there's probably a lot more, but these are the 9 that we've used and that we've seen a lot of other successful agencies use. And for me, it all starts with a keynote presentation. And all that is a PowerPoint or a keynote presentation, but it is your presentation on how people in your niche should market themselves to generate more leads. And you can put together this presentation with or without experience. Ideally, it's better if you have experience, but I'm sure if you're on this webinar and you're in the agency space, you've done a lot of due diligence, a lot of research, you've sat on a lot of webinars, you've read a lot of books, you've bought a lot of seminars, so you know a thing or two about marketing, about internet, about websites, about SEO. All you have to do is take what you know and boil it down into a specific niche. And what you do is you put that into a presentation. So for us, it was the complete guide to internet marketing for plumbing contractors. And it was the 9 things you need to do to dominate your market and generate more leads, right? And it started with, you need a good website. And here are the things that you need to make your website good. And you need to get optimized for the search engines. And here's what you do for that. Title tags, H1 tags, meta descriptions, links, citations. You need to get ranked on maps. You need to leverage paid search. And that's really what it is. It's just a PowerPoint with key elements. that you can then use in so many different ways, because you've got now this bedrock of information that you can use. From there, you want to develop a niche guide. And some people are different than me, right? So it's not lost on me that not everybody would want to start with a keynote presentation. I'm a very auditory person. I like to present, and so that's where I start. Maybe you're more of a writer, right? You like to write blogs. You can reverse this and create your guide first, write it out, and then create a keynote presentation for it. But with your marketing guide, then anybody you want to talk to, and you say, hey, I'm looking to work with plumbing companies, or I'm looking to work with roofing companies. Actually, I developed this report that explains exactly what you should do in order to maximize your lead flow. And you can send it to them. Whether you have experience or not, that already makes you 10 times more of an expert than all of the people that are calling them every day and showing up at their door. And if you're like me, I start with a keynote, and the information from my keynote is exactly the same as my guide. So I would put it into Keynote with all my bullets, I would record it, I would transcribe it, and there's my guide. However you come about it, you want a keynote and a guide. You want a niche-specific website with great content. So that's not, digitalpros.com or some general agency. It's your niche-specific agency. Funeralhomemarketing.com. Or if you have a cool brand that goes along with it, that's fine. But it's all geared towards that space. And it's not a sales page or a ClickFunnels page where it's just opt in and lead. It's actually just filled with information, right? All of this stuff from your guide and from your keynote presentation are different pages and posts on that page. When you have that content, now you've got a place to send people where they're like, holy cow, wow, this guy really or gal has really thought about this space. They really understand some good ideas and strategies. And it also starts to get discovered in search. Without doing any traditional SEO stuff for our website, Plumbing and HVAC SEO, all we had was how to get ranked and all this stuff for my keynote presentation. And because it was interesting and because it was value added, we started ranking for those keywords. And people started finding the site and we started getting opt-ins. But again, it's a niche-specific site that's got great, relevant content. Case studies and testimonials, extremely powerful at positioning you as the expert. It's one thing to say that you know. Really where you get true expert status is when other people are saying, yeah, they did this for me and this was the result. And so you want to start to develop some case studies. Here's the client, right? Here's what we did with their website or their online marketing strategy. Here's what happened. Here's how many leads they got. Here's how many new calls, how much revenue, and here's what happened in their business, right? They added these people or they accomplished this within their company. When you start to develop that kind of social proof, your expert status is without question. You do video-based training and webinars, white paper, which is just a repeat of that guide. And then really the ultimate positioning asset is going to be a book, a printed book like this, which is not nearly as hard to develop as you think. But if you could say you wrote the book on internet marketing for dental practices and you put that in enough desks, they'll think that guy's a real expert, right? And there's very low cost ways to do this. You'd be surprised. I'll kind of give you a hack, right? If you do what I suggest and you take your keynote presentation and you record it, right? And then you transcribe it and then you add some checklists and some other things like that, you already have your book. And you take that Word document and you upload it onto Amazon Create Space, a free publishing platform. They'll take your book, it's on Amazon, all you need is a pretty cover with your picture in the back, and you're the author of the book on internet marketing or digital marketing, or wherever you want it to be for that particular space. And there's just so many powerful ways you can leverage a book once you have it. You can put together a free press shipping offer. You can direct mail it to your best prospects. You can send it to the associations in your industry and say, hey, check it out. I'm the author of this book. I'd like to come speak at your association and get speaking gigs. So lots of powerful ways to leverage this. You also want to have some type of email response process. So when someone gets your stuff, they get to your website, they ask for your keynote, they register for your webinar, you drip content on them on a consistent basis. And more of a bonus in my mind is a podcast. Also a very easy thing. The podcast strategy I've used that's been most effective is just interviewing the experts in my field. So I call it the Plumbing Marketing Podcast, and I interview $1 million plus plumbing and HVAC business owners. And I just get them on the phone and I ask them, hey, how do you market yourself? What works best? How did you learn how to do this? I've probably done 40 or 50 of these interviews. It's up on my iTunes, and I can email it to my prospects. I can send it as a CD out to my prospects. It's extremely powerful, and it's another positioning asset where I get found and I position myself as the expert, as well as a printed newsletter. Not sure why this thing just reverted to the beginning. So, extremely powerful. These are the things that you can use in order to position yourself as the expert in your space. And some great examples of this. Christopher Yates, he also specializes in lawn care. He published his book. It's on Amazon. He recently has a picture. He's the guy on the left. You'll notice the presentation format very similar to ours. We give it to our members. And he had the opportunity to speak at the largest landscape association meeting in front of that big group. Do you think that generated some opportunity for him? Absolutely. And what was the end? The fact that he has a great website with good content. He published the book, sent it out to the organizers, got the invitation. Another great example for this, Gloria LaFont. I hope Gloria's on with me. She said she was going to be. She's done an amazing job. She specializes in the promotional products industry and has been putting out content and positioning herself. You can see her there speaking. And Jimmy and Matt, you guys are both awesome examples of this. But Wantina Portis from Creative Internet Authority has just done a phenomenal job. If you look her up, she specializes in the legal niche. She's got videos, she's got podcasts, she's got client interviews, she's got her book. She's just clearly the expert in her space, and she's just owned that. And I can't tell you how much that helps to accelerate the growth within your agency. So I want you guys to pause for a second. I gave you guys 9 possible things that you can do. It's not lost on me that not any of you are probably going to go out and do all 9 immediately. What I want you to do is pick 3. Spend a couple minutes right now, select 3 of those positioning assets. Maybe it's you're going to set up your niche website, you're going to create your keynote presentation and record it. That's enough, right? Just pick your 3 things and write it down, put it in the comments box. I'll pause for a second here so you guys can think. I really want you not just to get ideas, I want you to get actionable ideas that you write down and that you go back and execute. So while you do this, I'm just going to go back and I want some of you to put in the comments what you're going to do. There's a lot of you here. I want more engagement. Awesome. So Heather says, keynote presentation, webinar, beautiful. Marketing guide, place where they can opt in and read basically the information that was on your presentation, and then email drip. Such a great start. If you literally just do those 3 things, you'll be well on your way. Jimmy, rockstar, former marketer of the year, says speaking has been best for us. Absolutely. The person at the front of the room presenting is the expert. The person that's the author is the expert. Every time I get a chance to speak in front of my niche, I get new clients. And the same thing will happen for you. What else? So Tony, you just synopsized this perfectly. You said, so pick a niche, narrow down to a specialty within that particular niche, and become the expert. Absolutely true. And then Matt says he's going to do the book, 2018 marketing plan. That's right. So do a webinar on how to market yourself within your niche. And then trade show speaking. Yep. The best way to get trade show speaking opportunities is find the events, reach out to the organizers. If you've got a recording of yourself presenting, send that to them. If you've got a book, send that to them. These guys need content. So it's a great strategy. David, thanks for joining us, man. Glad to see you here. He's going to do the book, email, and print newsletter. Matt's going to buy the spots. I don't know what that means. Trade show spots maybe? Or speaking spots. That's another option for speaking opportunities. Todd is going to do a webinar, download PDF, set up a YouTube channel, podcast interviews. Awesome. All right, so you guys are taking action. This is what I want. Thank you for your engagement. Thank you for posting. And make sure you write this down and actually do it, right? Because you have to do it. All right. Now what I want to move to is developing your plan for generating inbound leads. So this positioning stuff I've talked about won't make you money per se, right? It won't get you new clients. It will make landing of clients significantly easier. It will give you the positioning resources to close at a higher level. But what's going to generate those strategy sessions is leads and lead generation. So let's break apart what you need in order to generate leads. First of all, a website with some marketing does not a strategy make. So just having your niche specific website sitting up online, you can't just now sit on your hands and say, okay, well, I did my website and I've recorded myself on video and I even wrote this amazing book and it's on Amazon, but I'm still not getting any sales. My agency's stagnant. Well, because you have to now put some rocket fuel behind that. And the way you do that is by having a proactive multi-channel marketing strategy to saturate your niche. And that will enable you to attract the clients on a consistent basis. And your positioning will make them choose you like, obviously, this is the best guy in the space or gal in the space. And that marketing strategy needs to be inbound, it needs to be outbound, it needs to be online, and it should be offline as well. You want a multi-channel marketing strategy. And so I'm just going to break down 9 marketing initiatives that you can implement. You're not going to be able to do them all, but I want you to look at the options and start to pick the ones that will have the biggest impact for you. So I'll start with the one that worked best for us out of the gates. That's email marketing. This is kind of a potentially taboo area, but there's like a lot of email lists out there. There are ways to get names and email addresses and phone numbers of most of the companies in your space, be it InfoUSA, be it Scrapers, be it join the association and then having a virtual assistant call and get email addresses. Once you have emails, now you can start to drip relevant messaging on them, whether they opted in or not. And I don't know if Jimmy or somebody else is going to yell at me right now. This is, I guess, potentially a gray hat tactic. But I'll just tell you, I can only speak from my experience in the other agencies that we work with. A well-structured email marketing campaign, opted in or not, will generate attention, it will generate leads, and it will generate sales. So you want to have potentially email marketing, through Infusionsoft or through GetResponse or through some other email broadcast platform where you can send messages to your ideal prospect and be creative. The way I see most people fail with email is they treat it like a one-shot deal, right? They send an email, hey, I'm looking to work with a roofer and I work with roofers, would you call me back? And no, they won't. And no, they won't respond. And if that's all you did, you'd be dead in the water. But if you have a soft on-ramp, an introduction, and then hey, I'd like to send you a copy of my guide. And then hey, I'd like to invite you to a webinar I've got coming up. And then hey, here's the replay of the webinar that you didn't show up for. After a little while, they start to be like, okay, I see this guy and he kind of, or gal, and they get our industry and they're sharing useful information. And then you just continually add value to their life, right? You drip the information from your guide on them. You do new webinars on a consistent basis and you share that with them. Over time, they go from what's the spam email to, hey, this is kind of interesting stuff, to who are these guys? Maybe I should just give him a shot, hear what he has to say, to, yeah, I hear from this guy all the time. He's a little bit obnoxious, but hey, I'll give him a shot. He's your client. Right? I kind of stole that from Chet Holmes. Those of you guys familiar with the ultimate sales machine, that whole progression from never heard of you to they're doing business with you. But that's what you want with all of your marketing. Nothing should be a one-shot deal. It should be a proactive, ongoing messaging campaign. The second thing you really want to do is to get involved in the associations in your niche. To me, this is the biggest shortcut to accelerated growth in any niche. Every market, roofing, dentistry, healthcare, chiropractic, there are associations. And there's associations that are national, the big dogs, and then there are local ones, and there are little subsects in each one. What you want to do is research the associations, kind of identify their websites, figure out what it takes to join, become an affiliate member, identify any upcoming events that they have. Usually they have 2 or 3 national events. A lot of them will have annual events, at the state and local level. And usually these events, they want to They want to help to pay for the cost of the event. And the way they do that is by having sponsors. And so you could say, hey, I'll give you $2,000. Let me set up my little booth and I'll hang out at the event. That, in and of itself, will get you in front of your ideal target audience at a much higher level than cold calling does. And it's not a one-shot deal. You have to choose the associations wisely. You have to find their events, and you have to go there with frequency. And then, beyond that, seek opportunities to speak and share the keynote presentation that you've developed. Hey, by the way, I've developed this great presentation on how to market a landscaping company, and I'd like to come share it with your group. Hey, yeah, we've got a need, right? These guys have these events every month, and they need to not bore their attendees out of their mind. And so they need speakers to come. And if you're going to come speak on a topic that's interesting and relevant, hey, that just solved the problem for them. And really where this gets useful is no matter what happens, when you join the association, you're going to get the member attendee list, right? Sometimes you'll get their names, email addresses, and phone numbers. Other times you'll get the names and addresses. That's an easy problem to solve, right? You take all of the names, addresses, and phone numbers, you put them into a Google Sheet, you send them off to a virtual assistant who goes and looks these companies up, grabs the emails and puts them in, and now you have a reason to contact them. Hey, I'm the latest member of XYZ Association. I wanted to reach out and introduce myself. Hey, I'm the latest member of the association. I tried to reach you yesterday or last week and didn't hear from you. I just wanted to see if it'd be okay with you if I sent you a copy of my book, right? I want to invite you to a webinar that I've got coming up. This is a lot more powerful, especially when you combine it with the events and they start to see you hanging out at their quarterly and annual events, and they're getting emails from you and they're getting webinar invites from you. Now you've got some momentum. So, I mean, to me, the association play is huge. Web strategy, got to have a cool website, needs to have good relevant information, should be built to rank for your keywords, roofing, internet marketing, roofing, lead generation, right? You create content for that stuff. You guys know how to do this. Pay-per-click campaign, there are people searching for internet marketing for their type of business. So you should be paid search advertising for that. And in some places, social media advertising is a great play, especially retargeting for me. I've done a lot of Facebook targeted advertising, trying to find the plumbers and get them, a lead magnet, a cheat sheet, a free copy of our book. But since we get so much traffic to our site, the best play is to pixel those guys. Now they've left the site and they see me on Facebook into perpetuity. And so social media is a great play. Automatic webinar, so record your keynote presentation, put it on Stealth Seminar, something along those lines, Ever Webinar. There's all kinds of different options for this. But the nice thing about an automatic webinar is the on-ramp of new prospects. So somebody gets added to your funnel, they download your guide, or you reach out to them, and you can always have a webinar to invite them to. Hey, tomorrow at 2 o'clock, I've got a webinar. I'm going to be unpacking the best internet strategy for dental offices, and I wanted to invite you to attend. Easy to set up and pretty powerful. It's a great way to automate your marketing at some level. Let's see. Strategic cold calling. I have a big issue with cold calling. I'm not a big fan of it, but at the same time, inbound lead generation is earned, right? If you're at a place where you've got enough leads coming in that you don't have to chase down business, you've earned that, right? You created your positioning assets, you created inbound marketing opportunities, and now you've earned the right to live off your inbound leads. But if you're sitting by your phone, waiting for the phone to ring or waiting for leads to come in and nothing's happening, this may be your only choice. Pick up the phone, make calls, get appointments, and hit your KPIs, which is going to help you hit your goals. Now, don't just call blind, right? You've got a niche, you've hopefully got an association, and you've got a simple strategy like what I outlined. Hey, want to introduce myself, wanted to send you a copy of my guide, wanted to invite you to my webinar, and on and on and on. This is a great way to generate leads and opportunities. Exhibiting at the trade shows, speaking engagements, direct mail, and Jimmy mentioned this, FedEx, extremely powerful. High quality, high impact mailing is one of the most powerful marketing strategies you can use, because unlike inbound leads through Facebook, through SEO, through pay-per-click, you're going to get anybody, right? And usually the best prospects are the larger clients. the guys doing $1 million to $5 million per year and more, right? Those guys are the ones that have the money, that will spend on advertising, that see the value of good service. Those are the guys you want. A lot of times those guys aren't browsing the internet looking for what you do. And that's where you can build a list, hyper target the biggest and the best within that industry, and send them a high impact package, FedEx or UPS Express. And they get something in the mail that's got a great sales letter, maybe has a video book, maybe has a copy of your book inside of it with examples and case studies with a strong call to action. Very powerful way to generate leads within your space. And it gives you legitimacy. That's what Dave just mentioned. Absolutely gives you some legitimacy. And the last of our 9 is going to be content marketing. Now, this is putting out new content on a consistent basis. And I find most of us get hung up on this. And that's why I wanted to put it in there. You think, okay, I'm going to set up my website. I'm going to create some cool content. I'm going to drive some paid traffic to it. I'm going to get the list of members from the association. I'm going to email market to them. I'm going to toss them into my automatic webinar. And I'll just wait for the phones to ring. The fact is, they might sit on that first webinar. They may or may not be impressed. They may or may not buy. And now you have no reason to remain top of mind with them. You've run out of new content. You can't send them the same webinar, the same emails, month after month, week after week. So what you have to do, and this is where it really becomes powerful, is you create new webinars and new content on a monthly basis. So as opposed to having one automatic webinar, you do your 2018 Internet Marketing Plan webinar. And now it's fresh, it's new, and you have something to invite them to, and you have something to send them the replay about. And then the next month you do one on how to set up a roofing website to convert at the highest level possible. And then the next month you do a webinar on how to get a roofing website ranked in organic search. And then you do another webinar on some other topic. And it's this fresh, relevant content that you're inviting them to, conducting live, sending the replay, uploading to YouTube, putting on the podcast, that makes you extremely viral. And it really is what accelerates that process from them going from never heard of this guy to he is like the guy, right? And that's what I want for you. I want you to be able to choose your niche, like I think Scott mentioned, position yourself as the expert, and then get customers coming to you on a consistent basis so you can accomplish your goals and you can accelerate the growth of your agency. So what I want to do now is share an example of this. And the example I'm going to share is Alan Hillsberg. He works for Funeral Marketing Services. He actually joined our program back in like 2015. And he was probably like a lot of you. He did local SEO, he built websites, he did mobile optimization, and he was stuck. Like he couldn't get out of like the $10,000 a month range. And he was spinning his wheels and there was no momentum. He followed what I laid out for you here, right? He picked a niche. He started going after it with relentless focus. And within less than a year, he grew it to over $30,000 per month. Now, I'll say he built it almost exclusively through cold calling. He was just one of those guys, right? He would pick up the phone, he'd call, he'd get their attention, and he would make strategy sessions. Always targeting 20 plus strategy sessions per month. Always got new clients, always had revenue growth. What he did differently in 2016 is he started to leverage some of the other marketing strategies that I've talked about. He joined the association. He exhibited at the events. He put together some webinar-based content. And I can tell you today, going into 2018, he is positioned to be a 7-figure agency, and he will be one by the end of the year. And that's the power of this whole process, right? Choosing a niche, positioning yourself, and then leveraging all of the different marketing strategies to get customers coming to you on a consistent basis. So I want to ask you now, and I want you to post this in comments, what are the 3 marketing initiatives that you're going to implement in your agency that will help you to get more and more customers coming to you on a consistent basis? Come on, guys. Speak to me. Jimmy's going to do more speaking events and more webinars. Yeah, man, you're just such a dynamic speaker. You're such an interesting, charismatic guy. I would be doing every speaking opportunity I could get. And I don't know whether you do webinars on a consistent basis or not, but if you did start doing a monthly webinar, I mean, you'd knock it out of the park. David is going to set up inbound, then cold emails, cold calls, direct mail, and associations. Bang it, man. You do that, and you'll be on your way. So for the rest of you, write it down on your sheet. Commit to it. Do it. Make it happen. Because you set goals for yourself. You set KPIs. You gave yourself targets. Now you have to have the plan and you have to execute the plan, because otherwise you're just wasting your time, right? And time is going to pass and you're just going to be frustrated. David Deuce is going to apply for a job in Jimmy Marketing. Probably pretty smart, right? You'd learn a lot. So let me ask you a question. Have you guys enjoyed the webinar so far? I don't want to wait for you guys to post. Dave, thank you. He says yes. Awesome. So here's what we covered so far, right? We set clear goals and targets for 2018. We broke it down into quarterly and monthly targets. We got clarity on the business model and how to set yourself as the expert in 2018 and beyond. We developed a plan for positioning you as the expert in your niche and marketing plan for driving inbound leads on a monthly basis. And so who wants to take things to the next level? Just put in the comments box, I'm ready, if you want to take things to the next level. David's ready. I can't even pretend like everyone's saying they're ready because you guys can see the comments. So that's all good. So what I want to do is invite you on a journey that we can take together in 2018, really to make it your best year ever and to grow your agency to the next level. What I know is that there's just too much information, right? And you can sit on a webinar like this, you can get great ideas, but information alone doesn't help you accomplish your goals. It just it matriculates. Really what you need is ongoing support, ongoing accountability, and someone to help hold you accountable to hit those targets and to do the necessary activities. And so that's why I'm really excited to introduce the 7-Figure Agency membership program. Completely different than anything we've ever done before. Not just a training course, not just a Facebook group, but a true membership where you can grow your agency, get the support, and get the accountability that you need. And really what the 7-Figure Agency is all about is helping you grow a highly successful and profitable agency that provides financial and personal freedom. And if you're anything like me, you like to learn from someone who's done what you're trying to accomplish, right? Not somebody that just read a book or somebody that is out of the business altogether and trying to show you what they're doing, but is actually living it and doing it day to day. You need to be trained in a sequential and logical fashion. You expect an end-to-end blueprint that shows you not just how to get the clients, but also how to serve the clients and get them good results and report back to those clients and keep those clients on an ongoing basis. And you need ongoing support, accountability, and help when you get to those roadblocks. And that's exactly why we decided to relaunch the 7-Figure Agency as a membership with completely updated training, ongoing monthly calls, and the accountability and support that you need. And it's really designed to help you get your business model right. Talked about some of the fundamentals. A lot of you guys have this fleshed out, but really get the business model right. Implement your strategic positioning and marketing campaigns so it's not a one-time effort, but an ongoing, iterative process that helps to continually position you as the expert. To fulfill flawlessly for your clients, and I talked a lot today about the marketing plan. I kind of skimmed the surface of some of the tactics and strategies, but I didn't talk at all about how to get the client's result, and that's just as important, if not more, because there's nothing more frustrating than getting a client, failing to execute for them, being disappointed with yourself, losing that experience, losing that relationship. So we spent a lot of time really showing you how to do this right and execute for your clients so you can retain them at the highest level possible, ultimately so that you can build the agency of your dreams, right? So that you can be able to have income, provide for your lifestyle and for your family, have the freedom to ideally at some point, like Jimmy and the others, have a team underneath you where the company can start to run and fulfill for itself. Really, that's what this is all about. And I have a passion for working with guys and girls just like you, helping you build your agencies and grow your companies to the next level. So if you want to grow a highly successful and profitable agency, be the expert in your chosen niche, have customers coming to you on a consistent basis, ready to buy at premium rates, and provide amazing service that generates great results for your clients, this program is specifically for you. And here's what you're going to get. You're going to get the core 7-Figure Agency Blueprint training completely updated. So some of you guys are on here, you've been through the training, it was good then, it's going to get better now. We've put together a brand new membership area. Over the next couple months, we're going to be re-recording all of the training modules so they're up to date with what we're doing today. So this is for you guys as well. But you're also going to get access to the existing training content as it sits today. That's 8 amazing modules, everything from how to set up your business model, how to get the clients, how to fulfill for their clients, and then how to manage and retain on a monthly basis. So that's the core piece of it. You're going to get the monthly update calls and Q&A calls. Those are calls where we update something that's going on in our agency and we open it up for questions. You're going to, as you grow, you're going to get to a roadblock and you're going to be stuck. You're going to have access to us via Facebook and other channels, but it's really great to know on a monthly basis you have a brain trust that you can sit down with and say, hey, here's my problem, and get answers not just from me and my team, but the other agencies that are going through this with you. You'll again have live access to me, my team, and the 100+ agencies that are going on this journey with you, predominantly in our Facebook page, which we got a lot of great members in there already. Those of you guys that are in it, you know there's good questions and good answers and good feedback happening on a consistent basis. You're also going to get our latest swipe and deploy templates. And to me, this is worth the membership in and of itself. Our proposals, our presentations, our contracts, the funnels that we use to generate leads, and a lot more. And what's cool is, because this is now a membership program, we're doing new things on a consistent basis. We're going to be adding to that library. And our commitment to you is to add at least one useful swipe and deploy per month. Whether it's a new webinar, a new direct mail piece that we paid to have written, a new direct mail piece we're sending out to an association. It's new, good, relevant swipe and deploy content that you can use every single month and just implement in your agency for your niche. Our Rolodex of outsourced providers and tools, we have 30 employees. We do most of it ourselves in-house, but there are services that we use. There are providers that we plug into. So we're going to share with you not just the providers, but also the tools that we use to run our agency. And of course, the operation project management tools, templates, and frameworks. There's a lot of little things that go into getting this stuff right, from QC checklists to project management templates, and we're going to open it up and provide all of that for you guys. So I add all of this up. My estimated value is about $1,500. The 7-figure agency blueprint by itself sells for $3,000. So you add some of this stuff up, I'd say this is a pretty relevant value for the program. And what you're getting is the exact system that we use to build our agency to $3 million plus. And I can tell you without question that there are changes ahead. The industry is constantly changing. Our agency has changed a long ways over the years. And that's why membership is so important, right? Because there's going to be changes, the things that need to be updated. So right now, we're rolling this out, 2018. We want it to be good. We want to have as many of you on this journey with us as possible. So we're going to give you the entire 7-figure agency blueprint, the core training, the monthly calls, the swipe and deploy templates, the access to me and my team for just $375 per month. And in order to get started, all you have to do is go to 7figureagency.com/get started. If one of you guys in the chat could type that in for me, that'd be awesome. So what I want you to do now is go to 7figureagency.com on another tab /get-started and join. So I just want to give you guys a little bit of context and stick with me. Don't jump off. I've got some bonuses I'm going to be sharing, and maybe a special offer for the first couple of you that dive into this and promise to join me on this process, join me on this journey. But I want to give you guys some feedback from others that have been through this process. So hang with me.
Hi, I'm Chris Yates, and I've gone through the 7-figure agency course with Josh and Dean. And I just want to say how an amazing course it is. It's just jam-packed with information.
Hi, my name is Montina Portis, and I'm with Creative Internet Authority, and we're a full-service marketing agency specializing in legal marketing for lawyers and law firms. I was able to actually pick a niche or vertical based on the 7-figure agency program by Josh Nelson and Dean Iodice. And I'll tell you, it has been phenomenal.
My name is Alan Hillsberg, and I don't usually buy into programs, but I bought into Josh and Dean's program because it offered me something that I've been trying to develop over the last 10 years.
I've looked at a lot of things out there. I know there's a lot of shiny objects available, and invested in different programs, some even, one in particular that was a lot more expensive, and it was just nowhere near the value that Josh and Dean provide in the seven-figure agency program.
They offered a number of concepts, such as working on one niche, working at a certain dollar amount, and working on recurring revenue, and all the things that I really was lacking in and not doing properly was all now put into a great program.
Hi, I'm David Deuce. I just wanted to share with you my experiences with the seven-figure agency program. You know, there's a lot of great training in our space, and you get a lot of different pieces from these different training programs. But I think this is the first time that I've seen everything together, put together in a quality way.
Now, I've invested thousands of dollars in training programs, everything from Facebook and marketing with some of the top marketers in the world. And this has been the best program that I've ever taken as far as the investment.
Not only shows you things, but they actually teach you how to do things to get your agency to this seven-figure level.
It's complete from beginning to end, helping you set up your agency, walking you through all the steps you need from your niche selection to the delivery of your services, how to price everything. It's just really complete.
Was all now put into a great program that gives you step-by-step strategies in which you can improve upon.
You have templates. I wrote a book before, within this program. I built a website.
And for me, the best part has been not only going through the training, but actually seeing things basically under the hood. You're seeing everything that there is to grow your business to where you want it to go to.
And within this program, I actually grew to almost $10,000 with 3 clients.
And I think it's nice is once you purchase it, you're not just left out all by yourself. There's a Facebook group that you can get on and answer questions. Josh and Dean will chime in and give you their input. Other members of the group will. So it's just the real deal. It's nice to know that you've got a group of people that are supporting you.
If you're looking for a legitimate program in our space to get your agency to the next level, I think this is a fantastic program to go through.
Even if you are a beginner, just follow the program. It's very concise. I find that both Josh and Dean are genuine.
Josh and Dean are there 100% to provide support. They have the step-by-step videos, audios, content, and really it's the first program that I've ever taken where I could say you can't fail. It's not even possible if you follow the structure and the templates.
And it's also a really nice thing is I'm not being bombarded every day by them with something they're trying to sell me in addition to this. So I mean, they've got an agency. They're the real thing. They've got an agency that they're running. I'm actually here in Miami at their agency and have just seen their place, and it's just quite an operation.
They have newsletters they provided. They have systems that work, and they've built a $1 million model.
I will recommend this to anyone that is looking for success in their business.
And so I really commend anyone looking at taking your business to the next level, whether you're just starting an agency or really need to refine and maybe even pick a niche to really focus on.
So if you are serious about building a 7-figure agency, I would not hesitate to make the investment to join this course. Again, my name is Montina Portis, and I'm happy to be a graduate of the 7-figure agency, and I look forward to working and meeting you.
All right, awesome, guys. It looks like most of you stayed, so thank you. Matt, yes, go sign up. I'll get you a TNC discount. All right, so I told you there's some extra bonuses and potentially a discount I want to offer, quick action on this. So first of all, bonus number 1. When you sign up, I'm going to send you a copy of both of our books, physical hard copy, the direct mail materials that we've used in the past that have been really effective for us, as well as our hot lead follow-up campaign. So when we get a prospect that raises their hand and says, yeah, I want to talk, and we take them through our sales process, we send them a shock and awe box. And it's got all kinds of cool goodies in it to it, and we're going to send that to you so you can experience all of those marketing assets and really emulate them. It's one thing to see the digital file, it's another thing to have the hard copy. So bonus number 1, for the membership fee, you're going to get that. Number two is you're going to get my best performing webinar campaigns. So I told you I've got my core webinar, but then I've got monthly webinars that I run on different topics. And for you guys, sometimes it's a challenge to come up with a topic, to put together the slides, to put together the emails that are going to go out to invite people to it, to put together the follow-ups after it, as well as the checklist that I use to syndicate the webinar. So what do I do after the webinar? I put it on YouTube, and then I put it on my podcast, and then I upload it to SlideShare, right? And I've got a checklist for all of that stuff. So that's bonus number two. On a monthly basis, I'll be giving you my latest webinar, as well as the new webinars that come out, that are already done, kind of like my archive, the whole thing. I'll tell you, at $375 per month, that piece alone is significantly more valuable than what I'm charging for the program. Now, bonus number three, another one that basically makes this a no-brainer, is that I'll be inviting you to spend the day at our office to meet our team, tour our facility. We're going to be doing these a couple times per year, and I guarantee you, as part of this membership, you stick with it, you'll be invited, and it will be a game-changing experience for you. Everybody that's joined us in our in-office Power Day, is what we call it, it just changes their context of life, right? Because they experience, okay, this is how the company's structured, this is the different departments, and it opens their mind to something much bigger than where they're at. And so, again, that's a $5,000 value. When I first launched this program, it was $3,000, and then the upsell was $5K, come spend the day at our facility. I'm including that as a bonus for you when you sign up at just $375 per month. So, I mean, again, if only that was what you got, it would be well worth the investment. So $375 per month, go order now, open a new tab, sevenfigureagency.com/get started, and let's do this. Let's work together. Let's build your agency. Now, what I also want to say is, I'm not asking you to give me $375 in a vacuum, right? There is a return on investment associated with this. If all you did was get one client ever as a result of the seven-figure agency membership, it would pay for the membership into perpetuity. But what we're finding is people that really implement and execute these strategies are able to add 2, 3, 5 clients per month at $1,000 to $2,500 per month. So if you're really serious about this, the price should be inconsequential at best. So I did promise special promotional pricing, and so for those of you that are still with me, thank you. Here's the deal. For the first 20 people that sign up, for just $97 per month, and that's your monthly fee, not like month one and then it jumps back to $375. For $97 per month, you're going to get the entire program, everything I talked about, all of the bonuses, just $97 per month. But it's only 20. You can see there's more than 20 people on the session. You need to go right now, sevenfigureagency.com/get started. I'll put it. And there's things I'm offering here that pay for it without question. If you're already a member of the program and you bought it in the past, you got value from it, just having the webinars on a monthly basis, just having the opportunity to come back to the office, just being able to get on a monthly call with me, have your questions answered, have my rapt attention is worth exponentially more than $97 per month. Jimmy's saying I could have easily charged $997 per month. Thank you. Yes. I should have maybe just charged one person that, and then I could have had the same thing. But I wanted to share this with the rest of you guys. I want this to be accessible. I don't want to help one or two people. I want to help lots of you. I want to see more success stories and more case studies. So here's what I want you to do next. Open a new tab. Go to the website address, sevenfigureagency.com/get started. You'll get an email confirmation. You'll get immediate access to the entire training, all of the templates, the exact formula. You'll get the details on when we're going to be doing our monthly calls. You'll be involved in this process with me as we record updated modules for each one of these sessions. And so all you have to do is go to sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. David's in, awesome. Brian is in, awesome. I want all of you guys in. You're on this webinar. You've sat through this much of it at $97 per month. It's a no-brainer. So again, if you want to grow a highly successful and profitable agency, be the expert in your chosen niche, have your customers come to you pre-positioned to buy, and provide amazing service that generates great results for your clients. Order now at sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. And it gets a little bit better still in that I'm offering a complete money back guarantee. I'm not in this world to take money from people without return on investment or without feeling like you got what you paid for. So if for any reason you're not happy with the program, you didn't like the coaching calls, you didn't like the stuff we sent you in the mail, keep what we sent and I'll refund your investment. That's a risky thing for me to do, but I just feel that confident that if you take this seriously and you implement, you're going to get great results. So now you have no risk. The other ones of you that haven't gone on and purchased yet, that haven't joined this process, do it now. $97 per month should not stop you from growing your agency and getting the resources and the training that you need in order to really take things to the next level. So again, sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. Matt's in. I look forward to seeing you in San Diego as well at the TNC. Order now. sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. And you're going to get the 7-Figure Agency Blueprint completely updated live as we go in the next couple months. Ongoing training and access to me on a monthly basis via Q&A calls. Live access to me and the other 100+ agencies on the journey with you in the Facebook group. Swipe and deploy templates. Again, pays for itself. Our entire Rolodex of providers. Our operational templates and procedures. A box with a book and our direct mail pieces. Our best converting webinar campaigns with the templates and the swipe deploy that you can just execute in your niche. An invitation to come spend the day at our office. This will change your life. You can testify to a lot of people. You pay for this for 10 years and it's worth more than that. So again, $25,000 value. I'm offering it to the first 20 of you at $97 per month. Go to sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. So right now you have two choices, right? You sat through this entire webinar, right? You've got the information, and you can do one of two things. Option one, you can just kind of say, hey, you know what? It was good, but yeah, I'm worried about the $97, and let fear prevent you from taking action. And what's going to happen if you go down that road? The goals that you set for yourself, the objectives that you have in mind, the agency, the life that you've envisioned, isn't going to come into reality because you're not going to have the training and resources you need. You're not going to have the support that you need. But more importantly, you're letting something as insignificant as $97 prevent you from doing something that you need to do. Now, the other choice would be to take action, right? To say, hey, I'm in. I'm not only going to sign up for this, I'm going to engage in the process, I'm going to watch the trainings, I'm going to implement the templates, I'm going to run the webinars, and I'm going to accomplish my goals. And if that's you, I applaud you, and I can tell you you're going to accomplish your goals, and you're going to be able to have that life that you're envisioning. It's not going to be easy, but you're going to be taking the right action to accomplish that. So I hope that you choose path number 2. I hope that you'll join me on this journey, be part of the 7-Figure Agency. You already know that I'm in there. Guys like Matt and Jimmy and other rock stars are in there. So please go to sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. It's only $97 per month. It's a month-to-month payment, so you can cancel it if you don't see the value into perpetuity, and it's backed by a money-back guarantee. So you really have nothing to lose. If you say, hey, you know what, I tried it, it didn't work for me, I trust me, I have no issue giving you your $97 back. Now, Tony's asking, was this created with a newbie in mind? Yes, at some level it was, right? I've had a lot of people come through this program that are just getting started. They were working part-time. A couple of examples of that, Gloria LaFont was just getting started, and now she's got a growing agency. Even Alan, didn't have much going on in his business, and now he's got a 7-figure agency. So, really this is built for agencies that are successful minded. They're looking to go to the next level. They're really thinking 7 figures. But I lay the foundation for you so that if you are just getting started, here are the tools you need. Here's the business entity you need to set up. Some of you guys are like, really? You're telling me how to set up credit card processing and how to set up my agreements, and you can ignore that stuff. But for someone like you, Tony, yeah, that's why it's there, so that if you're just getting started, you have the fundamentals you need in order to set your foundation and then build the expert status and really build your agency to the next level. So awesome. Most of you guys stuck through the whole entire thing. Thank you. I hope you got value from this session. I hope that you join the program and we can work together to take your agency to the next level. The reward, which I know a lot of you have been waiting for. Thanks for sticking around. Here's how you're going to get the cheat sheet, the tools, and the software that we use. All you have to do is go to sevenfigureagency.com/reward and follow that link. You can download it. Awesome. So that's it, guys. You've got goals, you've got plan, you've got an opportunity to be part of something that's going to really move you to the next level, the resources that you need. So thank you for joining me. I hope you got tremendous value from today's session. If you have questions, that's fine. Send me an email. Give me a call at the office if you have to. Hit me up on a Facebook chat. Those of you that joined, I'm so excited about working with you closer. I'm passionate about helping you grow, and I look forward to working with you closely in the months and years to come. Look forward to having you as one of our featured case studies, somebody that really knocked it out of the park. So again, sevenfigureagency.com/get-started. That $97 price won't last forever, and I'll look forward to talking with you guys soon.